Hi. Yes.
So Pooja's from Toronto. She is a graduate of the Toronto FI program and doing some really, honestly, some really noble stuff in enabling different monitoring and collision, I guess, type systems in wheelchairs for disabled people. Why don't you could probably describe it a lot better than I can, Pooja.
Yeah. Thanks for the introduction. So I just to shout out to someone who said they're in Bahrain. That is actually my birth city. So hi. I'm now in Toronto, of course, but I was born in Bahrain, lived there 12 years of my life. So very, very close to my heart. And I actually just went back after 25 years last year. So amazing the things that are happening there. So much has changed in the Middle East. So it's very exciting. But anyway, back to why I've been brought in here, I guess, is I started Braze Mobility about 4 years ago, so 2016. Before that, I had spent about 14 years, doing research on smart wheelchairs. And the reason that I was really drawn to this area was actually because of the first time I walked into a long-term care facility, and I saw that the majority of residents in long-term care were slumped over in these manual wheelchairs, and they weren't being prescribed power wheelchairs because of a lot of safety issues. So majority of long-term care residents, for those of you who don't know, have dementia. And so that typically ends up excluding them from the use of power wheelchairs, which then really, just kills their quality of life and their independence and makes them really reliant on caregivers. And so that's how I got into this whole area and got really passionate about what we can do with technology. I had a computer science background, and I really wanted to apply that into healthcare, but more specifically, I kind of found my calling for assistive technology. And so that's what I started. And Braze Mobility today has essentially created the first blind spot sensors for wheelchairs that can give multimodal feedback to the driver. So that the beauty of the system is it's really been designed for wheelchair users, right? So this is not robotics technology that's just been kind of slapped on a wheelchair. It's really taken the user into account right from day one, their families, therapists, pretty much all the stakeholders in the industry, in order to come up with something that's really usable and accessible and affordable for a lot of our clients, which is also a big factor.
Yeah, it's a really laudable mission. And was this something, coming from a more academic background, was this your first foray into starting a company and building a product?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I would never have labeled myself as a business anything, a business person at all, because I was very passionate about the problem that I was trying to solve. To be fair, I wasn't very keen on I wasn't very wedded to the idea of being an academic either. I
Mhm.
think the whole time I was really just chasing after the problem. And so when I got out of undergrad, I just wanted, I just found this problem that I was really passionate about. At the time, there was no industry for it. And so the only way I could have actually pursued it was going the academic route. And then I went far enough down the academic route, and I started getting interviews and calls from people saying, "Oh, when's this technology going to be available?" And it's like, I have no idea. So from there, I started talking to the wheelchair manufacturers, and then I realized it wasn't their priority.
Yeah.
And so it really, I'd say, I really became an entrepreneur out of necessity, because it just felt like there was nobody else who was really in that position where they could make this a priority and take it on.